not? Are we live? Are we not? It says we're live.
Yes, it does.
Does it?
Oh, and I forgot to share the link.
Oh, no.
All right, I'll go do that while you're greeting everybody.
Hello, everyone. Let me put this on live chat so that we can see what's going on. Today is a little bit of a different stream. Today is a tarot time stream with Carol from Whispering Cauldron. And she, at the moment, is making sure that the link gets distributed. There we go. I wasn't even on... I'm now... Yeah, okay. Now I'm at the live. Hey, Carol. Hello.
Hi. Are we live now? Hopefully we get people in here so we can show some cards.
Yes, and these are not traditional tarot cards. So I'm just waiting a little bit. I did refresh my browser. Do I need my tablet to check the live chat just in case? Where did I put it? I put it somewhere. Oh, over here. Let's put the phone over there. Let's grab our tablet. And
that's a freaking long list. Sorry about that.
Hello, Galina. Hi. How are you doing? Just going to make sure that I can pop out my... Oh, move it. Okay. I'm going to YouTube. I'm just going to make sure that I can have the chat in big personal.
So I can get the chat up, yeah, so I can see too.
We're doing good. Well, I'm doing good. I don't know how Carol's doing, but I think she's doing good.
I'm working on it.
Hello, Judy. Hi. Wait, what? I'm echoing?
Oh, I know why you're echoing. I got to shut the sound off over here. Sorry. Hey, we're still new to this like hangout thing.
Yeah, it's like, you know, and making sure that we have the right screens in front of us.
Yeah.
Hold on. Where's my tablet? Doesn't want to cooperate. Hello. Hold on. I need to make sure that my tablet is cooperating. Of course it can't log in because my internet wasn't on. I hope you're doing good, Judy. My YouTube is like, oh, hold on. Oh my God, I've got internet.
Yeah, I gotta share the link out here.
I just need to make sure that I
have the wrong one, you know. I was like, no, I don't want to share that one.
I keep getting notifications now. It's like, oh my God, I've got internet. Because this usually isn't on.
Yeah, I know. That's how mine is too. It does that.
So now it's like overload. Wow, okay. To delete all the things. Thank you very much. And then I need to go to my own stream. Hello, Champagne Sea. Nice of you to join us. I hope you're doing okay.
Hi, Champagne Sea.
I'm trying to go to my own channel so I can have the chat up close and personal. Yeah, man. My channel. Yes, you can do it. Your hand is raised for some wisdom. Okay, now I've got that, and now I just click on the live. Oh, wow. Oh, voice. No. Put it out. Put it out. Put it out. Put it out. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Just bear with us, people. We're still trying to figure this Hangout thing out. Every now and then we have a little glitch, but that's okay. We'll work through it and we'll get started.
Haha. Yes, everything is well with me too. Thank you. There we go. Move that over there.
And I'm gonna let Mika start Moon Tiger's Path.
Yes. Okay.
And then I will follow. I'll follow suit. She's going to show one of her decks, and I'm going to show one of my decks, and we're going to show the comparison.
Yes, we're going to compare the decks because these are not the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith decks. They are based on it, but they are a little bit different, as you will see. So mine is the guidebook I've put out because there's no space inside of the box. So this is the Inner Child card, a Fairy Tale Tarot. This is actually the major archetypes that are like transformed into fairy tales. It's by Lerner and Mark Lerner, and illustrated by Christopher, and now I hope I won't dismember his name, Guilfoyle, I think that is.
Okay.
Yes, but you know, it's always handy that people refer to the artists as well, because you know that is where we get our messages from mostly. So this is a box, and as you can see, I have laminated my cards because they were quite thin. Let me show you for comparison. This is the card.
Oh wow, that is very thin.
Yeah, that is very flimsy. So that is why I decided to put plastic at the back and plastic at the front, because I don't want the cards to tear when I shuffle them, or you know, suddenly one jumps out. And so I was like, okay, let's do this properly. And I just, you know, spent a few evenings doing a few cards, doing another. So that makes this quite a thick to shuffle. But you know, I rather want my cards to be safe. And these are the backings. I hope there's not too much shine on it. Hold on, I need to make sure that I have this one. In Google Hangouts, I can see my direct thing, and I can see the chat on the other one. So these are the backings.
Can you put yourself as presenting so I don't show up, and then when it's my turn, you can put me as presenting, so we're not going back and forth.
Okay, I put myself as presenter. As you can see, they're not completely done. You know, it's not like it's done in a factory. It's self-done. Some part is coming loose, but you know, the cards are safe, so that's what counts. And you get this introduction card, A Journey into Fairy Tales, Myth, and Nature. And illustrations right from 1992, in case anyone is interested. Okay, so this is the deck. I'm gonna put it to the side here for a moment. This is the box, but because I put the plastic on it, it's thicker, so I only put the deck in there and the book I leave out. No, that's not it. Let's go to the other side. There we go. So it's the revised edition, apparently. So there was another edition that I'm not aware of, but and it says it's a divination system that reawakens the child in all of us by gently helping us to interact with the world's most potent archetypes. So the archetypes of the Fool, for example, has been replaced with a fairy tale. And let's see. There's archetypal childhood stories to each image in a traditional tarot deck. Cinderella is the moon card. It's with the power of dreams and visions. Sleeping Beauty, for example, is a death card with a theme of personal metamorphosis. And little red cap stands for the fool, the innocent, and the big bad wolf portrays the devil. And it goes a little bit further about the whimsical art and familiar characters will awaken dormant emotional memory that has been trapped in long forgotten childhood stories. So I saw this deck on Book Depository and I was actually really interested in this. And especially, see all these colors, these rainbow colors. I mean, they're so vibrant. It's like, woo! Okay, you have the Mythic Tarot deck, and it's based upon Greek gods and goddesses. Ooh, nice. That's very nice. So this is the deck that I will be presenting. You do get a book. Oh, and suddenly my tablet decides to update itself. This is the book you get. The book comes, of course, with some pages, acknowledgements, forward preface. They call this an oracle, but it's actually the clip cards, the suits are still the same, but the major arcana have been reworked in the theme, and also the court cards have been reworked. But we'll see that as we go on. It states which stories they have put the fairy tales with cards. So, and then some notes about the author, about the artist. So it's like, more information about all the cards. What I do have is the Inner Card Child workbook. It's also with information about the cards, but how should I explain this? For example, the feminine in fairy tales, enchantment, awakening, archetypes of the soul, and karmic imprints, additional ways to use them, new layouts, and with each card, let me just flip over. These are, for example, you get the traditional meaning of the Rider-Waite, you get keywords, then you get the fairy tale lore about the card, because it's themed with fairy tales. You have journal questions over here, and you also have affirmations, which I found very interesting. So that is my introduction of the Inner Child cards, and I will now go to Carol for the introduction on hers. Ta-da!
All right. So I got to get up here so I can see this again, so I can see what I'm doing. Mine is the transparent tarot, and it came in this box, which is quite flimsy, and it has a plastic covering, which, it does protect it, but in the same sense, it can be breakable. So the box isn't really worth, what you pay for. But anyway, it came in here, and we've got a white cloth that they also give to put your cards on, which I will need to use because it's the only way you're going to see anything. And it comes with a book. And on the back is the Transparent Tarot is by Emily Carding. It is a very unique deck because you not only can do regular readings, but you can also layer, which gives it a whole new feel to the deck. So what it says back here is a must-have for all readers and collectors. It's a highly innovative deck, consists of simple yet striking images printed on clear plastic, which you have to clean when you get. It's designed to be read in layers and creating a whole new dimension to tarot. It contains 78 original cards, a 280-page manual. It offers in-depth definitions of the cards, spreads, and suggestions for other methods. And the reading cloth as well, because without a white background, you don't see anything. And it says, whether a tarot expert or a total beginner, the Transparent Tarot offers a fun, original, insightful tool for divination, meditation, brainstorming, magic, and more. So it does show, little bits of on the box of different types of layouts. But I got this off of Amazon. I don't know if they have any more, but anyway, we'll just put that off to the side. And the book is all in black and white. And it shows the pictures, which is kind of good because sometimes it's like, well, is that number a 6 or is it a 9? Because it reads both upside down, backwards, and all different ways. But it gives you the meaning. It gives you a divinatory meaning, and then an example of a 3-card combination reading, layering it. Like you can read it separate, and you can layer it. And your intuition, I think, is best with this type of deck. But yeah, I like it. I need to work with it more. I haven't used it very much. One, because you have to keep cleaning the cards so they stop sticking because they are plastic. But at this point, that is this one, and I'm going to let it go back to Mika so she can start with the first card, and then when she does one card, I'll pull a card that matches hers, and we'll show the differences.
Okay. Unmuting myself now. There we go. Okay, so I'm putting the book to the side. No, wait, I will need that book. Let's just keep it handy over there. What is... Ah, this is my tablet. Okay, I was like, what is this in my screen? Okay, so as first card, so the Fool is usually, one of the cards that the tarot begins with. So this is the card 0, the Fool, and here in this case, it's actually Little Red Cap. And when we consult the book, over there, so we have in the original book, I want to show the card, but I also want to be able to look at the book. Ah, there we go. So we get a reprint in black and white of the card, and then we get an explanation of the classic fairy tale of Little Red Cap. Is a story of childhood innocence, curiosity, excitement at the onset of a journey, temptation, and the primary stages of becoming an individual. So this card, let's put it over here. This card is, the way they explain it, you can actually see, that this is actually the Fool. But it also goes a little bit deeper about the adventure that she goes through, the wolf that she encounters, the hunter that is there. I'm just, going through. And why Little Red Cap received the name, because a grandmother made her a red velvet cap when she was very young, and she wore it constantly, and everyone called her Little Red Cap. And then, for example, the wolf lurking in the woods stands for the dark, unintegrated aspect of consciousness and the temptation to stray from one's higher path in life. So this card, they say here, in a general way, this card also sums up the entire major trumps, because Little Red Cap represents the child spirit within, who is traveling the illuminated road of higher consciousness. She is sent by the Earth Mother, destined to be reunited with the grandmother of universal wisdom. On the way, she is tempted by the vagaries of life. Vagaries? Do you say that, vagaries? I hope I say that right.
I can't see it, so I don't know.
Vagaries, Vagaries. Vagaries?
We'll accept that.
Vagaries of life. And learns from her mistakes and failures. Yeah, you have to excuse me because I'm actually Dutch from origin, so English is sometimes like, ooh, how's that word pronounced? And then it gives you, when this card appears in your reading, be ready for adventure. You know what the Fool stands for: a new adventure, new beginning. It's, the unknown, something, is about to happen. Willing to take risks. And then over here, you also see the traditional tarot type is the Fool with the planetary ruler Uranus. Excuse me, Uranus. Well, depends how you pronounce it. So I'm going to go over back to Carol, who is going to show her Fool card.
Okay. So my Fool card is, I don't know, can you see that, Mika, or do I need to raise it up? Can you see that on your
butterfly, right?
The butterfly? Yes. Can you see it?
I can see it.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because I have mine like really small on my screen. I just wanted to make sure everybody could see this.
Yeah, or you can just zoom one in so we actually are focused on that card alone. It depends if you want to.
Zoom one in.
Zoom one.
Let me see. Okay.
Those were 2 zooms, but okay.
Okay. Well, yeah, because you can't really see.
Okay, a little bit more to your left.
Whoa.
We're going on a journey with the butterfly.
How's that?
There we go. We see the butterfly big.
Well, it's the Logitech software, and you don't click, you drag the little box around. So anyway, you can see it.
Yes, we can see.
And it's all good to see. All right. So mine is the butterfly, and it also has, okay, it also has, let me just scoop my little white piece of paper here. It has a little flower down here that you can't see unless I hold it up. But there has so many unique little things on this butterfly. It has spirals on its wings. The butterfly wings are purple. You really can't see that. But it has, it's very detailed cards, but they are also very minimal cards. So with mine and my Fool, it has the reading here. It's a beginning of the journey of life. It's a journey through the major arcana of the tarot. The Fool is numbered 0 in this deck. So it means that 0 tells us that our journey starts in a void, very center of our lives. The Fool is an inner spark of breath, soul, and action that must ignite before any true adventure can begin. The popular portrayal of the Fool in many decks, like you've seen, which is unique in Mika's deck because hers doesn't even have the same type of picture as everybody's used to in the very first decks that were out, is of a figure walking carelessly toward the edge of a cliff, his belongings carried in a tiny pack on the end of his staff. That's what the normal, I think it's the Raider White, Mika. I think that's the one. I don't own a
the Rider-Waite Smith.
Yes, you don't have to mute yourself. That's fine. But anyway, and then there's usually a dog or another animal that is biting at his ankle and a white rose in his hands. In some decks, you also can spot a butterfly. Does yours have a butterfly, Mika? Yes, on her fingertip. So there's usually some sort of symbolism that carries over from deck to deck. With this deck, her quest was to find the simplest image to sum up the Fool, and she settled on one of the smallest details from the traditional tarot, the white rose in combination with the recognizable symbol, the butterfly. So on this card, you do see the white rose and the butterfly, and that is on pretty much all of the decks for the symbolism. The butterfly in its journey from caterpillar to chrysalis to winged beauty is a powerful symbol of transformation and its potential for the transformation that the Fool represents. It's a flying form. It's suggestive of the great leap of faith that you have to take in order for the transformation to begin. One of is certain to make such a leap, for better or worse, things will never be the same again. The subtle spirals that I mentioned earlier on the butterfly's wings are an echo of the World card, the last card in the major arcana, and the true potential contained within each of us. The divinatory meaning, well, we could go into that. I don't know if I should because it's an extra little bit, but you can take these cards, and while we're on this one, it does show you in the book what you can do and how to do a reading when you layer multiple cards. And it shows, you've got the cups up here, reaching, standing on the butterfly, reaching for that one cup. The butterfly is lifting him up. It's lifting him up to his new path, his new life of beginning. And he's leaving behind, if you look down here, the burdens that he's carrying on his back of all the wands. So we've got growth happening, and he's being lifted up to go to his new path. So these cards can just tell you so much in a different way, even if to bring more to the story. So that is my Fool. And now back to Meek.
Unmuting myself. There we go. So yeah, so like Carol's card, you do see a little butterfly, and here, I don't know if you can see that. It's but it's the lilies and the roses that are usually depicted in like the garden, for example, like the Ace of Coins, Pentacles. There's like a big coin, and then over here there's like a little thingy of the garden. So that kind of reminds me of that too. When you see the wolf, I don't think you can see the hunter. No, you can't see the hunter. But anyway, that's the Fool of the little red cap. I think I shall go towards, hold on. I will show a few cards and then I will go back to Carol. So in this one, for example, this is the Magician. But over here, they have used the Aladdin and the Magical Lamp. Because, this is a card about manifesting. And what you can see here on the carpet, he has all different, he has a sword, he has a butterfly, he has crystals, and he has been rubbing the lamp to get the genie, to get Aladdin out, because he wants to manifest, what he desires. Aladdin is a boy, right? Yeah, because this looks rather girlish. That's quite, So, and see, like here, for example, you can see all these little details, a little bird, little candle over here. So this is the Magician. And this one is the fairy godmother. This is actually the High Priestess. And she's, the one with the magic, with the pumpkin and, the whole Cinderella story that you know, but she is the one who has the magic to make, the dream of Cinderella come true. So this is the High Priestess. Over here, this is quite cute. We have the egg with Mother Goose, and we also have the world over here. And over here we have the sun and actually a part of the moon. I'm seeing this in reverse, so I'm like, where do I point? But this is the Mother Goose. This is the Empress. Very caring, loving. And let's do one more. Over here we have the Emperor. And the story is the Emperor's new clothes. as a Dutch person, I don't know all these stories, so this one is quite unfamiliar to me. So I would have to, kind of read up on the story and what's portrayed in the book about this whole story, because this one is quite unfamiliar to me. All right, and now I'm going to go back to Carol.
How many did you do? 3?
I did until the Emperor.
Yeah, well, okay. So this one, if you can see, is dragons, and which is the magician, but it's shown here in a serpent or a dragon because they're associated with magic and the magicians throughout the ages. So that's what they've chosen to, whoops, follow the camera. They've chosen to use for the magician in this deck. And when you layer, I just want to show you what it's like to, if I put the butterfly over the magician, you'll see that they're encompassing the butterfly. So the magic is happening all around the butterfly. So you can interpret so many different ways into these cards. And I'm just going to turn that one over. And then we are going to move on to the High Priestess, which is the symbol they used for the High Priestess is a crescent moon and a book. It's a multi-layered significance that they have. It speaks of promise and things to come. And then they also have the book under the moon, which holds the secrets behind the veil of the night. So that's how this card is portrayed. But if you layer again, you can see that they are making a full moon out of the crescent moon, and they're entwining into the secrets of this book. So the secrets, they're pulling the secrets out into the magic. So there's so much that you can read, and just the way you can match these up with the different layerings, it gives you so much to look into. So that was my High Priestess. And the next one is the Empress. Did you do the Empress, Mika? I think you did.
Yes, I did, and her husband too.
And the next one? All right. So this Empress is in traditional decks is usually a female figure, but this one is more about nature and Mother Nature and the landscapes. So that's where they went with this one. Instead of a human, they went with nature. So again, if you want to layer, you can see how nice it layers, and you can see how it blends the pictures. And I'll layer another one on top of that, and it puts everything combined. It gives you a story, which is really, really nice. So the next card is the Emperor. And the Emperor, they used castles to represent the Emperor. It's stability based on structure. So that is pretty much where these are going. And like, you can have the Empress in front, the nature, the growing, and have the stability, protecting Mother Nature, protecting the stability behind. So you can read so much into these cards. It's just amazing. But I really like the look of the cards. So now we'll go back over to Mika.
All right. Yeah, sorry. And meanwhile, I have been busy taking the tin, the Raider White tin of of the the radiant Rider-Waite-Smith. Excuse me. So I could, show the kind of original, but with a little bit better coloring, in my opinion.
That's a good idea.
So, okay, so I was kind of, searching for them, and so that I can actually show, So the wizard in this case, the story of the wizard is the Hierophant, the wise person, the person that you can learn from, the teacher. In this card is the Hierophant, and let's see. So they both have a hat thing. How do you call that? A hat on.
A wizard's hat.
A wizard's
Crown.
hat, then the crown of some sort over here. And over here, but it's very tiny. I'm not sure if you can if you can see that. It's like a little tiny box with something gold, but it's hard to see. It's very shiny, but I have so it's like the secret that you get to know because of working with a wizard. So I just thought I would show these kind of side by side so that people can immediately see, oh, that's the card that they're talking about. Okay, so I need to move this card over there. And then this little card over here. And then we have Hansel and Gretel. Hello, artsy girl Marilyn. Hi, how are you doing? Over here we see Hans and Gretel. And over here we see the lovers, which doesn't necessarily mean, the lover's card. I mean, just about love. It can be about the inner and outer side of yourself. It can be about making choices. And then over here, you also see this little heart on a ribbon with a bird. I think the bird has its paw on the little ribbon, so the heart can't fly away. And we see little squirrels over here and a little house. So these colors in these cards make me really happy. Let's move on to the next one. Over here we have Peter Pan. Yeah, okay, I'm in frame. There we go. So we have Peter Pan, which is the chariot. I'm trying to make both of them kind of stable, and so the chariot in this case is the flying ship of Peter Pan. And I really, I really like the fact, with the children flying. I think it's Wendy and Tinkerbell is over there, and some other people. I've read the story, but it's been a while, so I'm like, what's it about again? So that's these. Let's move the card over there. And here we have Beauty and the Beast, where we see the Lion of Strength, of the Strength card. So, yeah. See, that's the problem I kind of have with this card, because it's like she's forcing the lion to open its mouth. And, there are other tarot cards where I find the depiction a little bit better, to be honest, where, where he shows that, he could kill her, but he doesn't, if you know what I mean. Like my cat, for example, but we shall not go there. So, yeah, and you see all these little animals, little rabbits, and yeah, it's a really lovely card. And then we have our Snow White. Snow White. Let me check the book. Snow White. There we go. Snow White. Snow White is in this case the hermit, because she's in dreamland. Hidden within the fairy tale of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is a major lesson concerning service to humanity and the utilization of wise discrimination. It gives a lot of information the about the fairy tale and what it traditionally means, about the wise old man or woman, the crone that is often depicted as the hermit, living in an isolated or separate state will not bring happiness and contentment. The active work we are called to do in life is only partially physically, emotional, and mental. And there's also soul work, our service to humanity, and the opportunity and challenge to be a light to the world. So, and we see the evil stepmother, and they find that they find her, excuse me, in bed. It's like, who's sleeping in my bed? And last but not least, I will show you. Yes, it's Meekin. Hi. No, the star is further up. The star is further up. That was the Hermit. And now this one is Alice in Wonderland. She's the wheel. She's the wheel, and I have the wheel because I hadn't been able to put them in order yet. Oh, here, there we go. So here we have the wheel. The wheel can be good or bad. I mean, for example, you can have fun on this ride, but oh, excuse me, you can have fun on this ride, but if it goes too fast, you might feel a little nauseous. So the wheel can go both ways, to be honest. So in this case, they have chosen Alice in Wonderland to depict the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, and now I will let Carol show a few of the other major arcana.
Okay. All right, so we're going to go through the exact same cards again in the same order that Mika has. And we'll start with the Hierophant. And this one is, they're using the image of the major oak with its roots reaching deep into the earth and the strong branches raised to the heavens. They again seem greatly removed from the traditional tarot imagery, but it communicates much the same, which is as above, so below, basically. So that one is using the great oak. And we'll turn that one over. And then we are moving on to, and I may have to, after this one, mute myself and take the pups out to go to the bathroom. This one is the Lovers, and they're using yin yang and a heart, which is ideal for partnership and balance. So that one's pretty much a given of what it is and meant for. So now I'll just move on. And my Chariot is 2 horses, basically a dark and a light. Luna, she's over there digging. It's like, no, don't dig. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. This card is basically of opposites, contradictions, conflicts, and integration. Hence the black and the white horses for the card. But it's it gives you the same thing. They try to symbolize as opposite directions, but they come together from the same source. So they're coming from the same body on that one. And next we have the Justice, which is what I would expect for a justice for the bearing. Oop, I have that backwards this way, because you have to go by the little lettering up there, and sometimes it's hard to figure out which way is what. This card is basically has the familiar symbols of sword and scales combined into one, balancing on the little tip of the blade. They're associated with the concept of justice for many centuries. It's really pretty much coming back as far as ancient Egypt they believed that our souls and were weighed against the weight of the feather of death, and they kind of combine all of these things together, and it looks really cool when you're layering over and to have the justice card with the opposites, and then they're showing that they each have a little cup both at their faces, and they're balancing everything out because they both get some of each. So it's to have the light and the dark, they're combining and they're balancing their lives because it's all balanced on the tip of the sword. So with your readings, you could have multiple stories. So after that one, we have the Hermit. And my Hermit is portrayed with mountains, high pointed mountain with rays coming out of the top. It's illuminated, just like in the older decks where his lantern illuminates the path, where this one, the mountains are illuminated by the top of the glow from the top of the mountain. The Hermit it's like a time of solitude and introspection. Its primary meaning is inspired by the symbolism of this card. An ancient mountain towers above the clouds, whereas in the other ones, it's usually a tower. So this one, the tower is being represented by the mountains. And then we have the wheel, which I really like because for me, it also seems like it's a symbolism of my native history. So I kind of like that this wheel represents that as well. So with this one, the forces of fate and chance are represented by a Native American medicine wheel, a symbol of harmony and the cycles of nature. The four directions indicated by the symbols of the circle and the elements of earth, air, fire, and water, but also the seasons and forces through which the world would travel. So in all of this, it represents, like the simplest level we think of as luck. The forces of fate can appear random. So this, you can kind of symbolize it as the workings of the web of life. And it's just, you just take it with whatever cards. Also, like you can add different things of which way is he facing on the wheel, what is happening with the wheel, where is the most important point that he's showing, where is his cup, what is he pointing to or towards. So all of that you take into aspect. If you have other cards that's coming in, you can put more into the wheel with the layering of pictures. And that's why I really, really, really enjoy this deck, and I really have to work more with it to get to know each card a little bit better. So I think that's where Mika stopped. She stopped at the wheel. I'm going to mute myself because it's time to take the little ones out, and I will be back in a bit.
Okay. Yeah. And meanwhile, I have been, as you could probably see in the little thingy on YouTube, I was kind of sorting the majors of this deck so that I could show them with the big cards on how they have portrayed it. So this is, oh, hold on. There we go. There we go. So we have the Midas Touch. That is a Justice card here. And as you have noticed, Carol had a bit of a different order because her Justice was on the place of the Strength card. So it kind of depends, you know, some decks switch them around. There's a reason to that. I think it has something to do with a Marseille deck, where justice and strength is reversed or something. They reverse the numbers. Anyway, so over here, yeah, Midas, the story of Midas, and then he preferred gold more over his daughter. With the animals, and you see the castle in the background. But we do see, that they both have the crown. So yeah, let me move this over here. Oh no, that needs to go over there. There we go. And over here, for the Hanged Man, we have Jack and the Beanstalk, where he is actually just like the Hanged Man. He got stuck. And they almost have the same pose with their legs, as you can see. And over here, someone, like watching, like, what have you gotten yourself into? So that I found very funny. I'm moving the card. And here we have Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty, he was kind of, stuck in her sleep until, the prince will wake her up, the one true love. And it's totally different from this depiction. Let me see what it says here in the book. I'll just put this card next to it so you can still see the cards. I've been also following with the book. Because Sleeping Beauty has been cursed. Spindles were destroyed. The story of Sleeping Beauty, in correlation with the Death card, the story of Sleeping Beauty suggests a long process of maturation, particularly that point in the cycle when an innocent girl enters the strange world of adolescence, begins to menstruate, represented by Beauty pricking her finger on a spindle, and then awaits the relationship that will carry her to a new life of marriage, family, and worldly responsibilities. In the sleeping part of the tale, there is an emphasis on receptivity, the quiet interlude of several years with nothing momentous seems to occur externally for a young person, but deep changes happen internally to the child in the forms of sexual and emotional transformation. While the adolescent period for girls is symbolized by the monthly blood flow of menstruation and their growth into young women, for boys it is symbolized by the deepening of their voices, signifying a greater strength and ability to express themselves in the world. So it's actually a change of life or a transfiguration for a child. Is a kind of a process of death and rebirth. And here we have our little book cat. He's coming to say hi and he wants to bite in my book. No, thank you. Go back to your basket. Back to the basket. We learn that death never kills the soul or divine spark of life within the human being. It is a long sleep from which we will awaken, eventually to be reunited with loved ones. And then, it goes further about, what it means. Sleep and death is hypnos and thanatos. Sleep and death, and they were considered brothers. And then the soul can also be seen as a true sleeping beauty. So I really like the explanation of these cards and of the fairy tale that they combined with it. And this process of metamorphosis. But every child needs to go through this incubation period before becoming an adult. And it also suggests the healing power of sleep, because without enough rest, the cells of the body cannot function properly, and the immune system is stretched to its limit. And then traditional, it's the death card, and zodiac sign is Scorpio. So I really thought this was quite interesting. So we see her indeed sleeping, and there's someone on a horse that sprinkles that sprinkles dust onto her. That's the death card. And let's put this card over there. Over here we have the guardian angel, which is temperance. So we see the wings, and the little, it has a name. I forgot the name. And, she has the wings, and she's looking over those two children. One is, writing, the other is reading. And this is the story of the guardian angel. And then moving over to the devil. So over here, you see, the wolf. I think it's the same kind of wolf, to be honest. Almost the same, the big bad wolf, the same wolf of Little Redcap. So, but it shows you a road. He's like, I'm going to get you. But it doesn't mean that he's going to get you, but he could. You know what I mean? He could. Doesn't mean that he will. And that's this card. Carol, are you back yet? I'm not sure if she's back yet. If she's not, I will continue with another card. Let's put this one. She's not saying anything, so.
Sorry, I had to unmute.
Okay, your turn.
And how far did you go?
I went up until the devil, so I said the devil, and then it's up to you. So.
Okay. So I just messaged somebody to let them know that we were on. Okay, so we are at sorry. After coming back in, it's like, oh crap. Where was I? Strength, yes, good card. Strength. Give me strength. Oh my gosh. Anyways, this card is a lot different than the other ones. Is where am I? Wrong page. Okay. This one is whereas the chariot tends to signify control and victory over conflicting. This one is the far more feminine card and is more likely to speak of a spiritual victory and conflicting elements and feelings from within. Strength signifies one of the most important lessons on any spiritual path, and that is to know thyself. So to know thyself, that is what this card is about. And I had it a bit backwards. It's supposed to be this way because it's an X1. So that's that card. And then the next one I have in line is the Hanged One, or the Hanged Man. And it goes this way. And normally you see it depicts the man suspended from a branch by his ankle, and surrounded by a halo of inspiration. And this one, the Hanged One, it teaches us not only the power of self-sacrifice, but also the wisdom that can be gained through a change of perspective. And this one has a little cocoon type thing, which has the aura going around it. And that is, it's a caterpillar's cocoon. That's what it is. It's a cocoon of isolation. I thought it was a bee's thing for a second there, but it's the transformation with the Hanged One. To give that the great universal truth and emergence. So that's a butterfly's cocoon. And then the next card, and I'm sure it goes this way. is death, and we have the scythe instead of what normally represents. They usually carry a scythe, but this card speaks of the loss and aspects of self or a way of life. And it's in order to move on to another level, you have to see a part of it dying. Like death leads to rebirth. And this card is about the potential for an exciting new phase of life, which is what this card represents. And if we put this card and we put the cocoon for the butterfly on top, you can see the representation that's showing is this scythe is in motion and it's going to cut the cocoon away. So it's saying like it's time to let go, it's time to be reborn, it's time to move on, and you have to have one to have the other, to move on in your life. So these cards, when they're layered, give so much more meaning than, okay, let's put them side by side. And it's like, all right, so we've got this here. So what else are we going to read? Like, you're looking at pictures, but when you put it together, it just shows so much more in depth the story that you can gain from a transparent tarot and layering your cards rather than separately. Like you can read them separately, but I really like how it gives the motion and the different aspects that you can get from layering the cards. And I think that's as far as Mika went, and I will go back to her.
Unmuting myself. Hello, sea willow herbs and tarot. Hi.
Hi,
And hello,
Jen.
Jackie.
It's nice to see everybody here.
I did some typing in the chat, but I didn't say anything because I was going to disturb your flow.
Yeah, I know. That's what I do too.
Right. So Carol is showing the transparent tarot. I'm showing the fairy tale tarot. It's kind of like, she shows a few cards, gives some explanation. I show a few cards. So yay. All right. So I was at Rapunzel because Rapunzel is locked up in a tower.
Bye, Judy. Thanks for stopping in.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming. Bye. So here we have Rapunzel, who is stuck in the tower and lets her hair grow. And we also see the lightning in, I'm going to put it a bit closer. We see it, over there. We see the lightning. And she's stuck in a tower. And we even see the prince on his horse. And this is the, with the rope of hair. So it's quite fun to actually see the correlation between, the original tarot deck and with this one. It's not quite as dramatic over here. But, this is also a deck that you can actually use to work with children. So, with your inner child or with children, just, Let's put this over here. And these two cards, for example, Wishing Upon a Star is a star card. Oh, excuse me. Oh, here I am. And so we see the star, very boldly depicted, in case you were wondering which card this was. So, it's a star, and it's also, with a wishing well. Over here, it's more like a little pond. But over here, it's actually, and you also see the bucket. The bucket is also there. So I haven't read all the fairy tales, the explanation of all the fairy tales in the book. But so far, I can see why they used those kind of fairy tales in this deck. It's only the major cards and the court cards that have fairy tales. Over here we have, yes, I was like, wait a minute, yes. Over here we have the moon, also big, very big depicted. This is the Cinderella story. No worries. This is a Cinderella story, and we see these little birds coming with a dress. And over here, you know, these are the dogs and the crab howling. She's holding a flower. And we see all these little birds, our whole little helpers. Hmm. Oh, and there's even a grave over there with a hare. Grave. I can't make out what it says on the grave though, but there's a little grave over there. Isn't it from when your father died? I think as far as I can still remember the story of Cinderella, I think that's from her father dying. And over here we see the yellow brick road, which is, you know, from the Wizard of Oz. And we can see the sun, you know, the sun is at their end point. It's like, you know, everything's going to be okay when we reach there, when we reach that point of the Emerald City. I think it's the Emerald City. It's been a while. But yes, the yellow road that they need to follow, you know, to get their wishes fulfilled. And there we go. I'm not going to, this is the Three Little Pigs. That is the judgment card. And I'm going to see what kind of things I have to say. Three Little Pigs. There's a little card for ordering things. So that's the card. This is the original. And the 20th trump of the major arcana reveals the Archangel Gabriel blowing his trumpet while a man, woman, and child arise. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Where did it go? Ah, excuse me. Excuse me. I was like, there's something wrong here. Right. So they rise out of their coffins, and it's a card of spiritual rebirth and Judgment Day. Well, over here, you have Three Little Pigs. So in this sense, it's like the wolf. Well, over here, you see someone blowing. You see someone blowing over here. And it's like, you know, the Judgment Day, the wolf. But they have found something, so they're in the little house. There's a piggy here and two here. And one is, you know, fanning. Is that how it's called? Fanning the fire? So that way he can't get in and he can't eat the Three Little Piggies. There's also a little bird here. I really love, you know, these kind of details. And I love the artwork and you know, the coloring. It really makes me happy. And we have a cat that tries to eat my tarot cards. Yes, cat, I see you. And as last one, we have the Earth Child. I mean, isn't this gorgeous? Cat, no, these are my cards. Thank you very much. Hold on. Let me just move these cards away. Just move them here. We have the Earth. It's the Earth Child, an enwombed human soul prepared for rebirth. It represents the culmination of a long journey. As the soul progresses through the passage of time, space, matter, and spirit, there is a re-emergence back into the primordial egg. At birth, a new being, complete and whole, makes its dramatic entrance into the physical world of earth, water, air, and light. This card suggests the potential of future development and the creative interpenetration of multidimensional consciousness. Ooh. And then, you know, it goes further into what they mean with the story of the Earth Child and what correlations it does have. Like, for example, it goes back to Jack and the Beanstalk, the Hanged Man. The beanstalk that Jack climbs, linking heaven and earth, is similar to the umbilical cord uniting mother and child. Jack, as a fairy tale version of the Hanged Man, voluntarily decides to bear his cross and move through a process of self-sacrifice. And then, it goes further of, how it correlates to this card in particular. So this is the world card, which we all know, the lady with the batons in her hand. So this is the end of the cycle of the major arcana. And Carol, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, taming the wild cards.
Are you going to do the other cards?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Now I just switched you over.
Okay. So my next card is backwards. And this is Temperance, and they used a chalice, a fire, and a rainbow to represent, because the card holds many secrets. It can be mysterious and kind of difficult to interpret, but the traditional image is an angel pouring liquid between two cups, and her presence was translated into the rainbow and bridging a chalice of water and a flame. The element of this card is pretty significant, and truly understanding the mysteries of the alchemy, which is more than a lifetime's of work. The temperance signifies the meeting of fire and water, which combines to form steam. And that combination produces a spectacular rainbow in which you get all of the colors of the spectrum. It's just a really nice card. And again, if you layer, you can get different meanings and representations out of that. So that's Temperance. And next we have the Devil, which is represented by, and I got it backwards again. Will you two stop it? You're being a pain in the butt right now. So this one has, it's very subjective, I guess, but it's all in the way you define and interpret this card. It's on a different level than a lot of them, and some people get uptight with this card, but to me it's just another moving on. It's the realm. It's a temporary addition to a natural state. You're limited, but you also have boundaries. So it has a lot of different meanings that you can use with this card. And that is the Devil card in this group. But if you, again, layer with another card, you can see he has boundaries, but she's outside of this circle, and she's breaking loose into an outer boundary. She's breaking her limitations. So the cards have so much to tell. The stories are amazing that you can get with these cards. And the next one is the Tower. This one is usually represented by two figures falling out of upper windows. This one, it's really different and unique. I really don't know what much to say about this one, but there goes my pups. The forces, they can tear down what's built up, leaving foundations, but with that foundation, you can always rebuild. So there's so many different options, and here you can see it's breaking through all those boundaries of the other card. I mean, it just has so much so much capabilities, these cards, and they are very different than a lot of the cards that are out there because you can layer. And here's the star. And star is pretty much a given in most of the decks, with the light and the beauty and the spark that it gives off for life. So this is the star. And now we have, and I'm still using the book to learn these because I don't have as much time invested in them as I should. This is the moon. And I really like how it has the third eye, the spirals, and you can have the star and the moon. The star fits directly in the moon, and the third eye is up at the top with the spirit. So that's kind of cool. So that is our moon card. And here comes the sun. And the sun and the moon. If you look and you put the moon over the sun, opens up the moon's eyes, which is so cool. So I love how these cards are so indifferent to other decks that are out there. And the next one we have is Judgment, which is a phoenix. Phoenix rising. That's the representation. It's coming out of its own ashes, build itself a nest, and then it ignites, and it just blooms. It's reborn, and I like these cards a lot. So again, I just want to show you what it looks like if you layer card over the top. And it has an amazing effect because now he's coming, the sun is the body of this phoenix, and it gives it that extra blaze and fire and just passion to go forth. And the next one and the final card is the world. And the world, they have a spiral, a rainbow spiral. So it's most reflecting the endless cycle of life, death, and rebirth. But I think overall this this deck is pretty cool. The only thing I don't really care for about the deck is that sometimes these cards stick and you have to clean them. But hey, enough. Okay, back to you.
I had muted myself because I was laughing at the end. With the squeaky toy. Ay. Okay. Oh, that squeaky toy was just adorable. Right, okay, so for this, I'm going to go through, yep, okay, there we go. I'm going through the whole wand suit. So this is just, wands, fire, no, this way, okay. So here we can see, the butterfly, these little 2 flowers, and the border is also different, so it correlates with the theme. So I have the Ace of Wands, which is beautiful. Here we have the 2 of Wands. See this little person over there. Little rabbit and all the little creatures looking into the water. We have the 3 of Wands. So it does look different. It does look different than the normal Rider-Waite, because the 3 of Wands is about something, the plan that you've thought out. In the 2 of Wands, going further and the process of it. While here it's like 3 little fairies or angels or something flying. That's playing music. The 4 of Wands See, they all have butterflies and they're all, working together with plants and playing and shoveling, and that's the Four of Wands. The Five of Wands, we have, I'm trying to look at the card. Well, actually, I should just look at my screen, to be honest. So we see, it's like little curled, and then she's like doing something with it, or half standing on it. I don't know. There's a Five of Wands and a Six of Wands. They're celebrating around the maypole. I think that's a maypole, if I remember that correctly. And it also has like this big butterfly here, and they all have wings. Over here, the Seven of Wands. Now she's sitting alone here in this flower. There's all these kind of butterflies just on the outside. It's the Seven of Wands. And the Eight of Wands. Are they doing marshmallows? Huh. This little owl looking, it's at night, they have a bonfire. They all have their little sticks. So it could be that they're roasting marshmallows. Yeah, roasting marshmallows. And then we have the Nine of Wands. This little guy peeking behind the fence like, hello, who's there? But as far as I can see, there's no one there. It's just, there's all these little butterflies over here. That's really cute. And a little, I think this is a rabbit. And then we go to the Ten of Wands. She's happily playing over here with a stick with a butterfly, and there's all little butterflies flying around. Little bird drinking. It's very peaceful. I think that is, oh look, wait, oh no, okay, because this is like this little kid that went into the garden, because over here you can see that little pond. It's like a continuation, like, she maybe she was afraid because she kind of looks like, what's going on over there, but here she, she's not afraid anymore, and she's playing. Even the rabbit joined her over there. Huh. So this is the Ten of Wands. And then here, the Child of Wands, which I need my book for because there's a story connected to it. So I'm just gonna, so you have like, you have the depiction of the card, and then you have a little bit of explanation of the card and why they chose that image and what it represents. So I'm just going to continue a little bit. Hello, happily ever after. Nine of Wands, a little bit further, Ten of Wands. Here we go. This is the Child of Wands. So originally this is the page, Child of Wands. And here it's the little prince. So this is a story of little prince. And it's often the little heartwarming gifts that make a profound difference in our lives. And then, just the story of the little prince and a little bit of what he is saying. And then the appearance in your reading is a beautiful gift. So that's like the Page of Wands. The sweetest love is blossoming in your life. Climb aboard your butterfly, like he does. He's on his butterfly. And he's in space. He's not on this world anymore even. Because we see this little moon here. We see all the stars. Climb aboard your butterfly of personal transformation and soar toward the awakened child of love that lives in your creative imagination. Take a moonlit walk and watch the twinkling stars. Do you see them smiling at you? Can you hear their childlike laughter? So that's the Child of Wands. And let's move that over there. We have the Seeker of Wands, which is the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is usually, oh, this is Dorothy, I think. Yep, this is Dorothy. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. A place you can get to without any trouble. It's far, far away, behind the moon, beyond the rain. That's from The Wizard of Oz, the movie. And so you can see, you know, she wants to go up in the balloon, and when she clicks her magic red shoes 3 times, there's no place like home. And then it says, follow your destiny and proceed on your life quest. Develop your confidence and spiritual strength. I mean, this is, you may be exploring and perceiving unusual realities at this time. Your dreams may be colorful, profound, fun, or adventurous. I really love these explanations. And then we have, and my cat is starting to sniff my tarot cards. This one, the Guide of Wands, which is the Queen of Wands, the Pied Piper. So the message is that you never know when the muse will suddenly arrive and depart. See, and everyone is, you know, just following him and dancing, and there's even a little, is it a rabbit or a hare? Has longer ears, so I'm guessing a hare. So everyone is just, you know, yay, party. And then the last one of the wands is the Guardian of Wands, which is the King of Wands. And this is Raphael, the guardian angel. So each king is a guardian angel. And for this suit, for the butterflies or wands, this is Raphael. He's the archangel of providence who watches over humanity and offers direction and care to each struggling soul on earth. And then you are being blessed by the presence of divine healing. Recognize the sensitive power in your hands that can rekindle strength in family and friends and family members. And then, you know, it goes on a little bit more about, you know, about visualizing from your chakras and etc. So this was the King of Wands, or in this case, Guardian of Wands. Yay! I love these cards. I think I'm really going to spend, you know, like a month working with these exclusively, because it's a little bit different, but you also kind of need to, you know, delve deeper into the stories. Carol, I'm going to switch back to you.
Okay, I unmuted. I got my animals under control. All right. My wands are, I think they look more like a pip deck, really. They do have action, but they are very minimal, like the rest of the cards. Everything is very minimal. And this is the Queen. I don't know, can you see that pretty good?
Yeah, we can see that.
Okay. And this is the King, and when I layer it on top, you'll see how they become one. And depending on whether they are reversed or not reversed, they can either be going in the same direction or they can be going separate directions. So that is the King and the Queen. And then we also have the Knight and the Page. And doesn't that look just amazing how you can layer them and have a story just within the picture itself, of even if you have all of the same suit. So that's the King, Queen, the Page, and the Knight. And we'll move them up. And here we have the ace. I'm not going to go through the book because basically everybody knows pretty much the story behind them. So I'm just going to show my cards and show them as how they can layer, because this, and here's the two, and the story that can come out of the main wand, and they're lighting their wands, like getting the energy from the fire into their wands. Like the stories can be amazing. And then if you happen to have the third one on top of the ace and the two, you'll see that those three are now lighting the tip of that wand, and then it's burning at both ends. So the story is so amazing that you can get with these cards. And now I'm going to put the Four of Wands, the Five of Wands, and the Six of Wands together. And you can see how that story grows up into the other ones, depending on how you get them in your layout or how it's pulled, will tell the story. And now we'll go to 7, 8, and 9, and 10. 9 and 10 are kind of stuck together. So you can see how the story can change going through. So that is my wands. So I'm not going to use the book for my deck, my minors, and I'm just going to go back to Mika.
Okay. I just realized we've been online already for 2 hours.
And I think we really actually got online at noon. We were on figuring stuff out beforehand.
Yeah, I know.
Well, we could have done it in 2 parts. We could have done the major and then the minor.
True. All right. So the sword
Your
suit.
cards are more detailed than mine.
Yeah, that's true. So we have a change of scenery. They do have borders, but I don't really mind them because, you know, they're quite pretty. So the swords, we have, you know, this reminds me of, what's it called again? Excalibur, you know, the sword and stone that you want to pull out. So that reminds me a little bit of it. And then we have the Two of Swords, which also reminds me of the Rider-Waite, you know, with the crossed swords. You shall not pass. But here they're just, you know, they're just playing around. And then the Three of Swords is, how do you call that? Is that the same triangle, you know, with for the music? Oh, interesting. A little dove over here. Some flowers. So I'm sure each of these cards also has a little story behind them. We have the Four of Swords. We're kind of, you know, working together to manage the waters, to go through the waters. We have the Five of Swords, which is usually depicted differently, but over here, you know, it's like a little star, and then you have little, what's it called? Oh, I can say it in Dutch, I forgot the English word. Anyway, excuse me. So yeah, and we have the Six of Swords, hooray! And they're drinking. We have the Seven of Swords, where he's using a sword to write. Well, actually, you know, a pen is like a sword to be, you know, that's what they say, you know, you can use your pen as a sword because, you know, depending on how you use the pen, it can be, you know, good or not so good. And then we have the Eight of Swords, which is quite dark. I think they're in a cave. Oh, and there's even a spider over there. And I think that's kind of like a snake or something. It's hard to see because I have kind of the reflection of the plastic, but they each have their own light and they're going through the cave. Oh, excuse me. The Nine of Swords. That's weird because normally the Eight of Swords is one. Well, they're kind of stuck in the cave. That's, but here, it's like he's caught and he can't get out because of this animal. The animal has him surrounded. He can't get out. So that's quite interesting. But then, this is what happens afterwards. So first he's surrounded by this large animal. Yes, the pen is mightier than the sword. And then here he has managed to put the swords around the beast and he is free. But he even has his armor on. Well, here he doesn't have any armor on. Excuse me. And over here we have Pinocchio. Oh, excuse me. Wow. Pinocchio, the story of Pinocchio as a child of swords. You have the Seeker of Swords. With the oh, I forgot what his name is. Made completely out of straw.
Scarecrow.
Scarecrow. So we have that one. And then as the queen, we have Robin Hood. And over here we have the Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael with the sword. All right, Carol. Zip, your turn.
Okay, sorry about the squeaky in the background. She's playing, she's chewing on a toy. Okay, these are my swords. This is the king. And this is almost the same. They're pretty much all basically kind of like the same layout, but not. This is the knight. This is the queen. And this is the page. And it's almost the same layout as the wands. And here we have the Ace of Swords, the 2, the 3, and the 4. And I should let them see different by themselves so you can see the layouts. And this is 5, and it shows broken. He has a broken sword, a couple of broken swords actually. And 6 has a boat. And 7 of swords. And 8 of swords. As it shows, he's surrounded. And here's the 9 of swords. And the 10 of swords. But they all layer really, really, really nice. And before I go back to Mika, I'm going to go into the next one because hers take. Hey, maybe not. Okay, back to you, Mika. I gotta mute. They're at it.
Okay. Right. I was checking the court suit. Right. Okay. So this is the Ace of Cups, but in this case it's hearts. So we have the 2 mermaids. beautiful heart with wings. Ooh. Here we have the Two of Cups. It's like, you know, the two, and also the two dolphins. Oh, I just saw that, the two dolphins. Wow, it's pretty. And here have the Three of Cups, like, yay, party. And little chest and music notes, dancing. And we have the Four of Cups. Oh, look, she's alone and she only has half a heart. And over there are three others, and they have a full heart. Oh, that's so sad. Ah, and their boat sank. Oh, that's a bit sad. We have the Five of Hearts. Ooh, she found a really big heart. Oh, she's on top of a turtle. Oh, two turtles. That's the treasure. We have the Six of Hearts. They're helping each other. Ah. And they have their little hearts and they're helping each other. Teamwork. You have the Seven of Hearts. It's like she's meditating. All these hearts here and little fishies and a squid. And then here we have the Eight of Hearts or Eight of Cups. And their music notes, they carry hearts with wings. And that's pretty. And then we have the Nine. Ah. And you already see the rainbow over here. But she is alone. Will that change? Ah. Oh, excuse me. So that means that she is close there. Yeah, that she is close to the beginning of the rainbow and that she is in front of it. That's quite interesting. Hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Huh. Interesting. All right, the Child of Hearts, the page is Goldilocks that I did manage to see before I closed the book. And then we have the Seeker of Hearts, which also has a fairy tale connect. Oh, it's the is that the Tin Man with a heart, maybe? Even the horse looks happy. He's like, yay! And we have another Queen Fairy something for the Guide of Hearts. Or is that the Good Witch? Isn't there like a Good Witch in the Wizard of Oz?
Yes.
I thought so. Some things and this is another archangel. This is Archangel Gabriel. It's Archangel Gabriel. Look, and she has like a little cup with rainbows. Oh, so pretty. All right, Carol.
Great. So we're on to cups. Here's the Queen. Here's the Knight. The Page. And somebody must be out of order. Where did he go? He must have got mixed in with something else. Yes, he probably did, but usually it's the guy going the opposite direction. He must be in. Oh, I know. I used him as a show in the layering, and he got put away into a pile.
Yeah, Yeah, you did with the majors.
And here's the Ace Cups, and it has, I'm trying to get closer. You can actually see the detailing and the little items of the water dripping out over. Make sure I'm in frame. And the 2. I kind of like how it's just minimal images until you layer. And there's the 3 and the 4. And if you layer, he's down here drinking all by himself while his buddies are up there all cheering away if you layer them. And 5 sitting down here in the corner. And 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. And I'll just go right through my pentacles, and then you can do yours. And because mine are basically all the same. The Queen, the King, the Knight, and the Page. And then it has an ace with nice little leaves around it. And 2. Oh, they're sticking. 3. 4. Am I on screen enough? Nope, I'm not. You tell me I'm off screen. 5.
I had muted myself.
6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. And now you can finish out yours.
All right, we're back for the last suit. And that's the Earth suit, but in this case, it is the crystals. So we have the Ace of Crystals. Am I in the right position? Hold on.
Thanks, Tange. Talk to
Over
you
there.
later. We're stopping in.
So we have the hard little working leprechaun, or whatever it is called. And we so it basically follows the it basically follows them in the suit. Oh look, you have a little swing and and a bird and squirrel and ooh. But it also shows, you know, the balance, you know, that we try to keep. We have the 3 of crystals. So, oh look, there's even a little heart in a door over there. So cute. The 4 of crystals. They are working together to build. Oh, look. So they are working together. And this is 5 of crystals, where it's almost finished. They're just putting the final touches. Huh. So some cards seem to be following up on each other. 6 of crystals, we have 6 little dwarves, and then one over here. And then inside she is, so that's probably in the house, and they are, you know, working. She is inside lighting the candles, 7 candles. So sometimes they seem to be following up. Is that the same girl? Could be the same girl or another one. But, you know, she's figure skating. Figure skating number 8. A little hare or a rabbit. I think it's a rabbit, this one. One little bird. And then we have the 9. Chillaxing. A little kid. Reading a bedtime story. And then this one. So here we have, the bedtime story, and then this one is with the whole family. This is with the whole family and presents, and it's really pretty. And then the court cards, like I said, are stories again, but I didn't look up the stories. It's with a frog and fishing, and here, this is the lion from the Wizard of Oz. Oh, he gets a crown from the birds. Oh, that's pretty. Santa Claus. Excuse me. We have Santa Claus. And then last but not least, the Guardian of Crystals. Isn't she beautiful? This is also an archangel. I forgot her name. We have Gabriel, Raphael, Michael, and I think Uriel, if I'm not mistaken. And she's holding the world in her hands. Wings and the sun over there, and it's beautiful. Right, that was where's the box? That were the inner child cards with lots of explanation. And Carol, hold on, there we go. No, so if you speak, it will jump back to you.
Okay. And mine is the Transparent Tarot by Emily Carding, and I purchased this off of Amazon.
Yep. And mine was from, you can purchase it from Amazon Book Depository, the usual venues. So I hope that this was fun to watch 2 different decks at the same time.
Even though it was long, but it was fun. It was nice seeing the differences between the 2 decks.
Yeah, and it made me realize that I really want to work with this deck.
That's because you've learned a little bit more about it.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's going to be it. I hope everyone has a good day.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you for coming, and see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.